What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. It's episode 790 of The O Show. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe on our YouTube channel at Jack O'Hara TV. Brittany Dotson, if that is your real name. I haven't seen you guys in like a year and a half.
Yeah, I mean, time has gone by really quick.
And you got some big news.
Yes.
Please share with the audience what you got going on. What is this Kickstart I keep hearing about?
So Kick is a new platform that came out and kind of like a competitor with Twitch, but they're supporting more creators of all sizes. So when I was on Twitch, they were taking 50% of everything we had, basically. And Kick came out and said, hey, you're gonna keep 95% of your subs. And that was like a big thing, but they came out with this creator program. And it's an incentive program to be able to pay creators and give them a chance to, I don't know how to explain it. Yeah,
I do this sometimes too, where I stall in the middle of a question and then I just completely change
I don't even know
subjects.
what's going on. I know, but Kick came out with this creator incentive program, but they needed creators to help mold and shape the program.
Yeah.
So what they did was get 33 creators, and I was grateful and lucky enough to be one of the 33 to help shape this program so that when it does launch, other creators know exactly what's going to happen. Or kind of like an experiment.
And they came to you almost as like, we need help with this.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And it was shocking because, when you look at the 33 creators that got recruited into this first class partnership, you're just like, we got cooking streamers, we got gaming, we've got people that are, rapping, we've got announcements, like we got even dart competition. So They have taken creators from every category you could think of and are experimenting with us and getting feedback from us to help make this program accessible for new creators in the future.
Have you pitched any ideas, like any events or things you guys can do? You mentioned dart throwing.
Yeah, that's like one of the creators that's part of the program that they do. So I like that the program had, they didn't just focus on Call of Duty streamers. They went across the board because they know there's streamers on their platform doing almost anything and everything.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And this is something, because you talk about getting opportunities like this and doing it for a living, doing it full time. When I met you a year and a half ago, you were doing social media stuff, working with certain platforms and certain brands while doing your own stuff, and now you get to do this full time with a big partner. How have you learned from the beginning, the beginning to now, how to navigate it and how to trust certain people and building relationships and making money doing it? Because again, this type of income is new, relatively new in the last.
Yes, I think it's shocking to a lot of people, especially telling, my parents what I do.
I know, it's tough, right?
My dad's very supportive, but sometimes like my grandma, she, what do you mean you live stream and you make money or you made this full time? But it's almost like my life was pre-planned like a book for me. I always say that, it's a coincidence. It's weird how the lineup is. I'm very strong on energy and knowing how things align. And so when I started working with Violet is when my whole social media stuff started. I started gaining knowledge from working with Violet Summers, moved on to one of her friends, started doing more socials. When I was done with her, I got into the YouTube world. Started working with Big Dots TV, Steven Shapiro. So that's where I learned YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, every platform you could think of.
Yeah.
And once I was done working with them, I was like, what do I do? How do I utilize this? Because I've always wanted to go and be a YouTube creator or a Facebook creator. I just didn't know how to do it and where to start. But I started grinding on Twitch at that time, right after, I was done doing socials for them. And it kind of just clicked where I was like, I can just utilize everything I learned and do it for myself.
Oh, absolutely.
I have 4 to 6 years of experience in social media. And I think as a content creator, that's probably one of the biggest things.
Goes hand in hand, I'd say.
Yeah, hand in hand. And so when Kick came out, I I jumped on that platform so fast. I think it was announced maybe the end of December, beginning of January. I was in there February. Brand new. Trainwreck, he's one of the partners of Kick. He's a huge streamer as well. He pushed my check mark, my verification. That's how new I was to the platform. But I've been utilizing my socials, and that's how I've been able to build my brand lately.
How early on did you fall in love with like, not necessarily like Twitch, but like video games, all of that, to get to a point where like you have your own brand and doing it now? Okay,
so it's funny because I didn't grow up going, I want to be a streamer or I want to play video games.
Yeah.
I sat down one day when I was working for Violet, and she was like, you ever thought about streaming? And I was like, I have, but I don't know what I would do. And she was like, well, you sing, maybe you should do music. And I was like, okay, she's like, you have a big personality. So she kind of like pushed me that way. Went home, started getting the streaming stuff together, and then I started getting on stream, and I jumped on Rocket League.
Yeah.
With a controller.
Right.
I didn't understand anything. I had no like streamers that I looked up to at the time. I had no idea what I was doing. I just kind of went for it. It wasn't until honestly Kick came in and made me more motivated. And I felt like I was prepared because of my background with my past jobs to like, okay, I can push my brand.
Yeah.
I know what to post on Twitter. I know what's gonna get views, and it's working out pretty well.
Oh my! Did you ever have to work any like desk job or anything in between that, or were you?
No. I kind of like, okay, so obviously working with the big influencers, I was paid well.
Of
I
course.
did save money.
Naturally.
So I'm not saying, I don't suggest to any creator, just quit your job and go for this. You want to be set up. I'm not just like this story that's like, oh, I quit my job and I went for it. No, it was hard. I went for it when I was still on Twitch. So when they're taking 50%, I was struggling, but luckily I had a bank account that I had saved money that could back me up to go ahead and be like, let's take a year to do this full time. I gave myself a year. And if it wasn't working out in a year, I either needed to change something or go do another job and do streaming.
Yeah. See what happens when you're smart with your money, kids? Anthony, are you listening? So talk to me about F3. I've been sipping on this. Before it's all gone, may as well promote it.
Right. Well, I came across F3 recently, and the CEO, Harrison Rogers, he started like seeing me on Kick, seeing me on socials, and he was curious about the space. So originally F3 sponsors fighters. He also owns United Fight League that puts on fights. And so he sponsors some of the fighters with F3, the whole event sponsored by F3. And when I had met him, I told him like, would you ever think about getting into the gaming space or streaming? And he had an idea, but not so much. And I sat down with him and told him how loyal the community is of streamers. Like the streaming community is so loyal compared to other communities that I've seen, in my personal opinion. And, I started working with them, and instead of drinking Red Bull and Starbucks coffee, I got into drinking F3 on stream, and I've noticed the difference. Everyone's always like, dude, your energy is insane. It's probably the biggest compliment I get when I'm streaming is, how is your energy so high? How are you like this crazy lit? And I'm like, honestly, I think it might be F3.
Fuel, focus, finish, F3.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like you were talking about before, that there's like mood, like that's what, peach mood?
Yeah, this is their mood
Peach
drink.
mood, just to like mellow you out before bed.
Yes. So like when I'm doing long hours streaming, I'll drink an energy drink. When I want to last like one more hour, but I want to go to bed afterwards, I'll grab a mood, play another hour, and then I can fall asleep. And that's what I like about it. Where like I have two different options.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you kind of crave that like carbonation, but I don't want to pull an energy drink at midnight.
No, not at all. I've made that mistake plenty of times. Just chug a bang, go to the gym at midnight. I'm up all night sending emails. I got into a bad rhythm a few years ago.
Oh, really?
That's probably why I shaved my head a few years ago.
Yeah,
I was
remember.
just losing it, right?
I think, yeah. I mean, even I got on a bad rhythm with streaming.
I'm sure.
I was putting on too many hours and doing, 12-hour streams and thinking that putting in so many hours was going to make me bigger.
Yeah.
And then I took a step back and I was like, wow, now I do 4 or 5 hour streams. I'm not doing it every day, but the days that I'm not streaming, I'm still working. I'm still going in, interacting with other streamers. I'm making clips. I'm talking to anyone I can to gain more knowledge. Like, yeah, it does feel like I'm working 24/7, but it feels good that I am doing it for myself and that I have kind of gotten on this schedule.
How important do you think it is to, because you touch on engagement right there and going in and kind of promoting other creators, or at very least commenting on their stuff and kind of bringing everybody together. How important was that in building your own platform for you?
I would say it's in the top 3.
Yeah.
Top 3. If you're not supporting other people, if you're not engaging with other people, chances are it's like people are going to see that you do your own thing, and nothing's wrong with that. But if you aren't a supportive creator, it's kind of like a no-no in this space, you know? And there's like this big stigma around like, oh, bigger creators don't collab with smaller creators, or you guys have your own little lunch table.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times people have introduced me to people only because they have like millions of followers on Instagram. I'm like, but are they cool?
That's what I am. And like here I am where I'm like, I don't care. People can express they have millions of views, they make money on Facebook, they do all these things. Oh, you have 40,000 people watching you, but like, are you a good person? Like, do you actually support other people? Are you working on getting better? And that's how I view it. They get to this point where they just stop and they're like, I'm the shit.
Oh, I would take the guy who has 500 followers, who has a charismatic personality and actually befriends everybody, than the guy with 1 million followers that just like nods his head and doesn't talk to anybody. Like, who are you?
What's crazy is like I think more people have 1 million followers now. Like, no offense, it's not really like, it is an accomplishment, but it's also more attainable now, if that makes sense. So back then you would be like, oh my God, that person had 1 million followers, but now it takes someone to hit 5 or 10 for you to go, holy shit, But the grind is real.
It really is. But like a lot of those followers, I feel like early on, especially, I don't know how many people out there who have like 1 million to 2 million to 3 million followers that I've never heard of before. I'm like, how have I never heard of you before and you have that big of a platform?
Well, so back on the engagement thing, it's like, do you have 1 million followers, but what's your engagement like? That's my question. Oh, you have 5 million on Twitter, but what's your engagement like? Are you like, what do you post? Maybe that, has to do with being shadow banned for what you say and all this, but I want to know what your engagement is. And I think that's what brands need to look at now. Instead of looking at the guy who has, all these followers and all these viewers, they need to start looking at the person that has the most influence.
So what do you look at in influence? Like comments and...
Let's say if I was a company and I was looking at creators who have influence, I kind of see how loyal their community is to them, how they support that creator. And, I'm not gonna lie, I'll base it off subs sometimes. So Kick and Twitch and every other streaming platform out there has like the sub button. And once you subscribe, it's like $4.99. So, for example, Twitch, like I was saying, they take $2.50. Kick is you're gonna keep $4.95. If your community is supporting you and loyal, they're usually, helping this creator by supporting them monthly. We kind of depend on subs.
Yeah.
But a lot of creators are coming in with the like, oh, the money doesn't matter, I stream because I love it and I don't care. But it's like, are you being truthful? So you're okay with streaming 40 hours a week or whatever it is, and making $0. You got to be real with yourself. And I'm kind of tired of, in my opinion, seeing I just want to build a great community and that's all I care about. I'm like, you have to care about getting better, getting sponsorships, getting deals, making, that income, because if you want to do what you love, why not get paid for it?
What, out of all the creators you've seen, you included, what's the slowest somebody got paid and actually after starting their brand?
What do you?
Because I'll say, like, my first sponsor probably came like 2 years into this show before it's like, okay, I have a lineage of consistency, I've built up my audience and people are interested now, as opposed to just like starting out and asking for sponsorships, because it doesn't really work that way, right?
Yeah, and
so what was like the longest, would you say, it took someone that you saw to kind of make it in that space?
Well, for like, I would say those sponsorships come in quick no matter what. But the thing is, some of these sponsorships are only offering, you know, here's a link. Can you sell this product for us?
Right.
There's a difference between a sponsorship and just getting on with a company and selling their product. Because, yeah, I don't know how we're going to cut that.
That one's just an MLM at that point.
Yeah.
Right? And then there's certain companies that want endorsements during, like, say for a podcast on the audio side specifically, they want endorsements, or if they want video products, like we have F3 up on the camera right now, you know, it's like something like that where they want product placement, or
Correct.
you potentially putting on events for them or introducing them to certain people that might benefit their company. You know, all sponsorships are different like that.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like, especially like in the Twitch space, how people like negotiate some of those contracts with people. Like we were talking about before, like getting emails for sponsorships, right?
Yes.
To weed out ones that are legit and for you, as opposed to ones that like, this isn't going to work out at all.
Yeah, like I'll see some creators kind of just take on any sponsorship they can get, but it's like, I suggest knowing if it fits your brand, knowing if you like it, you know, like in the gaming space, there's a lot of energy drinks, of course. But it's like, have you tasted it before they just decided, hey, we like you, we want you to promote our drink?
Yeah.
But it's like, do you like it? Do you have a passion for it? Do you want to do it? Because why are you gonna put in work and get the word out there for something that you don't love?
Yeah.
So,
How did you know you loved F3 Energy?
You know what, honestly,
This is a great drink.
it's
got
really
aminos,
good.
it builds muscle.
They've got multiple flavors, and my favorite is the Tropical Theory. That's my favorite. But the thing about me knowing if I liked F3 was, I was like, this tastes really good.
Yeah.
But it was when I got connected with the CEO, when I met him, when I got to know him, and that was what made him different from all the other energy drink companies that had reached out to me. He knew my streams, he knew what I played, he knew about me, like he did his research.
You could actually talk about your experiences. 'Cause he
Yes,
was actually paying
whether
attention.
like I get emails that are like, Wittle Bears, we saw you on Kick, we love your stream, and it's like, what do I do? Do you know what I do? Like, he was more personal, on point, and he believed in me, and we started off slow, and then I got signed to Kick, and it was like, he knew it. It's like he took a chance,
Right.
you know? And
Took a chance, took a risk, and he built that relationship with you. As
Exactly.
opposed to just being like, oh, we want to pay you X amount of dollars for this, can you do this? Or even
Correct.
vice versa. Like people reaching out being like, hey, can you pay me X amount of dollars for this? It's like, I don't even know you, dude.
Yeah. And I mean, Harrison has, invited me to his events and taken care of it. He's, been behind me, been in my streams, and sets me up to meet people that I can build all these connections with.
Coolest person you ever met?
Yeah.
Who would you say Rampage was a cool guy?
Rampage Jackson was easily one of my top favorite people I've met. He has so when I met him, we ended up all going out to dinner, and I had noticed that before dinner he was like looking at people's shoes, right? He's a big shoe guy. That was my first time meeting him, and I looked at him, and I pay attention, I'm a gift giver. And he wanted these pair of shoes on someone, and he's like, they don't have my size here in Arizona. And I was like, I got him. So I went to another shoe store before dinner, and I tried to find those shoes, and I couldn't find them. But I found another pair that were brand new that he wouldn't have. And when I went to dinner, I gave him a pair of shoes.
Nice.
So I think people like that, that have that status, and people just assume, they're well off and everything. Like, it's okay to give them gifts. That's how I build my connections.
I mean, it's
and
not like
make
the gift that counts. It's literally the
not.
thought of you being intentional enough to see that, and then to go through the thought process of like, I'm going to do this for you.
Exactly.
And that's what matters.
And I am that person. It could be with anybody. It doesn't matter if they're big, or it could be you. I might notice something just talking to you and be like, okay, next time I see Jack, I'm gonna give him this.
Well, now I have the expectation.
But so I had got him a pair of shoes, and he looked at me and he looked shocked, you know. And this has happened before when I worked with like Violet and Big Dawes. Like
course.
I always give them something, you know, if there's a birthday or Christmas, try to think outside the box, you know. And at dinner, he was one of the coolest people, personalities, big, love him to death, and he calls himself my BBFL, best black friend forever, for life or something.
I've been following him for like years now, and I saw a post, I don't know if it was a couple of months ago, 6 months ago, whenever, it was like, this is my best friend.
Yes.
And you were on a show, I'm like, I think I've met her before.
Yes.
I think that's Brittany.
Yeah, and we just met yesterday in California, and we did the same story. So it's like a thing now, and he's really, really cool.
It's cool because you meet people like that who are interacting with people on an hourly basis, let alone a daily basis.
Yeah.
And they'll remember you and they'll be polite, but it's like you don't really have like genuine connections sometimes with people.
Yeah.
Like, I'll travel around and interview people, and it's like you can tell when it's a genuine connection you have with someone versus just, oh, we're being cordial because it's nice to see you, you know?
Yeah,
Just
I
catching
mean,
up.
the first time I met him, I was like, it's like I've known this guy. He's very easy to talk to, very funny. Like he needs a camera on him at all times.
Yeah.
He's his own reality TV show. But I've met a lot of really cool people, and I don't burn bridges no matter what, and I keep my connections, and it's always...
Have you ever, let me put it to you this way, have you ever gotten to a point where you felt like you had to not necessarily burn a bridge, but distance yourself because something happened in business?
100%.
So how do you not burn a bridge in that sense? Like how are you able to maintain that relationship? At least like mend it.
Yeah, I don't see the point in going back and forth with someone if I don't want, what is there to prove? You know, I'm not proving I'm better or any of that. So I had worked with another like model at one point who I would say was expecting a lot out of me for less pay of what another creator was paying me, and I was like, I'm so sorry, I can't treat you like this person because you're not taking care of me like this person does. Like I said, I do a lot for you.
Yeah.
You know, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. But now you want me to do Saturday and Sunday, 9 to noon.
Right.
But nothing extra. And I was like, I can't do that. And it got into like a big thing where it's like, I can do it myself. And I was like, and all I said was, okay, that's fine. You can come do it yourself. Why was I going to sit there and tell her she can't? She can do it herself. Come do it. But it's not a threat to me.
No.
You know, and I wished her the best, and that was it. But I don't see a point. She's a good creator. She did her thing. She makes good money. But I'm not going to sit there and try to bring someone down just because it doesn't work out.
And that goes back to the point of just helping all content creators.
No matter what.
Right?
Yeah.
Does it ever feel like competition for you? Even though you like preach that, it's like, oh, we're all trying to help each other, as should anybody in any business, any industry. But there are times where it's like, man, I feel like I'm not getting the opportunities I deserve, and I'm watching so-and-so get opportunities when I don't feel like they deserve it right now either.
That was a hard pill for me to swallow. But recently, I would say in the past 6 months, I've gotten over that competition mindset.
Yeah.
And I've kind of developed this like very humble, but also very proud. I'm very proud of how far I've come, and I've hit a lot of accomplishments in a short amount of time. So my thing is, it's like, there's no competition because no one is me.
Yeah.
And I inspire a lot of creators, and I think that's more of a compliment than anything. And it's been really awesome to see how much of an impact I've had on people for me not even being big. I mean, you'll talk to some creators and they'll say, oh, Bears is a big creator, and I'm like, not yet. And they're like, no, you are. You inspire me to keep doing this and doing this. And I'm like, are you serious? But the competition, to me, there's no competition. I stay in my lane. I work really hard. I think when you think someone is like a competitor is when you start slacking. If I start slacking and I'm not posting and I'm not streaming and I see someone get an opportunity and I go, oh, they're competing with me, it's like, no, they just worked harder than I did. And that's why I'm feeling that way.
Do you think that there's going to be like an extra layer of motivation in the future? Like the more deals you make, the more partnerships you have, are you going to find like that extra oomph in a sense to develop a different side?
I think once I got signed with Kick, that was that motivation.
Yeah.
It was like I was already motivated, but now.
So are you more motivated through like, okay, things are happening now and it's all
Yes.
paying off versus like, I'm gonna prove myself?
100%.
Yeah.
So it was like I was proving myself, got noticed, proved myself, got noticed, proved myself, got signed to Kick.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, and when you know you're working hard and things start coming to you, it's not a surprise. You're like, I worked for this, I earned this is what it is. You know, because when I got that email from Kick about, you know, this offer they had, I was like, okay, I deserve this, but I also emailed and I said, can you message me on Twitter so I know this is real? Because you want to make sure, you don't want to be
Of course.
scammed, you don't want to be messed with in this space of creators. You know, there are scams out there that creators will fall for because something sounds so good, but you have to be realistic with yourself. So when I got this email, I was like, I deserve this, but is this real?
That because I asked you right before we came on too, because I've had dozens of emails where I know right off the bat, I'm like, that doesn't look legit. Versus someone actually sending me a sponsorship deck. I'm like, okay, this is well thought out. I
Exactly.
actually want to meet up. They're from the area. You know, I can drive to them.
Yeah.
Versus like some Korean company reaching, like an apparel
Right.
company. I'm like, I don't.
I'm like, Japan wants me to promote cannabis? That's not real.
Right? It's,
You
like,
know?
it's kind of cool. Like, can you fly me out? I'd go. I'd go
Yeah,
to Japan
stuff like
for
that. Oh, I would love to go to Japan. But yeah, there is no competing. And you know what, with Kick is this platform has kind of eliminated that competition compared to what Twitch, everyone, I feel like I could speak for most of creators on Twitch where they felt like no one was being looked at or noticed, and you know, people would apply to this partnership program after getting these requirements and then still being denied and not understanding why they're being denied when they just met the requirements.
Yeah.
So Kick kind of changed that. And about Kick, it's not just about like the 95-5 split. It's about who they're noticing, who they're boosting, who they're giving a chance. It's like, it's crazy. I mean, people that are on the creator program with me, there's 33 total. We've got streamers who average 30 viewers. We've got streamers that average 15, 200, 1,200. It's all over the board.
Yeah.
And every single creator has like their own contract.
Yeah, because they're
No matter what size they
they're
are.
taking creators that they genuinely feel like they're going to be somebody because they love this versus, oh, they already have the platform. It's going
Correct.
to make both of us money.
Yeah, and also they can't shape the program if they only grab people of a certain CCV or grab lower.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They needed to grab everyone from every category, every viewership to be able to shape a program that they can launch to get creators on Kick to be able to apply for something.
Yeah. What is your category, to be specific?
So I am mainly a Call of Duty streamer.
I've noticed. Again, Brittany, very, very vocal sometimes.
Oh yeah, I
You
think
get
that's,
into it.
I do, and you know what I like about Kick is like I'm not gonna be yelled at for something I say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I like. Very careful, obviously. There's certain things that creators
Have you ever
just
been
don't
kicked off?
say.
Like never?
Never.
Really?
I mean, not even
Have
on.
you come close? Did you ever say something in the moment, think like, ooh, am I
I've
gonna get
done
in
that.
trouble for that?
I've done that, yeah.
Really?
Like I have like, kind of like I would say, there was once when I just bursted at someone because they made me so mad, but I quickly apologized on stream live. But that was just one time, you know.
Just lost your cool for 1 second.
Yeah,
1 second.
yeah, but that shows my authenticity, you know.
Right? I'm just passionate.
I'm not
passionate
gonna
about what I do.
Exactly, but yeah,
Man, 'cause that is tough. Like there are instances.
you're live 20. I mean, you're
Right?
live. There's nothing that's gonna be cut out. It's what happens, and I kind of like that. I like that, and the thing I like about Kick is these creators can come on and do what they want, and not get banned. But Kick will give you a warning, and if you know if they don't like something, they'll tell you. But go ahead and try it. Go ahead and try it. We'll test it.
Yeah, I guess you don't really have like a set of rules of what you can and cannot say. So
Correct.
you're just gonna test the waters and then you'll find out.
Yeah, obviously they have their rules on Kick. Like there's certain things you can't
I mean,
do.
there's
Obviously,
obvious things, but
you know.
Yeah.
But I like that it's like they back up their creators in a way.
Yeah.
Like if you go look at Kick's Twitter, it's not corporate at all. They know how to appeal to the audience, and it's so smart. I'm like, who's running that?
So
Because
smart, so modern.
yeah, I mean, I'll just laugh, and I don't know, whoever's running the Kick page on Twitter, like I wish I knew that person when I was doing socials because they're really good. They're really good at it.
And that's something that's up your alley too. So like you'd be able to actually understand how they're doing it.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna end up doing social media like for a living.
Forever.
Did I like doing it? I loved doing it. I loved helping people.
You never got burnt out?
I did.
Okay.
I got burnt out because
there's some times where I'm like, I need to take a month off from this.
I got burnt out because sometimes it felt like I was doing so much and I was seeing such good progress in a creator. And I was like, I could be doing this for myself, you know? And this might sound wrong, but I never liked the idea of getting up at 9 a.m., 8 a.m. for someone else or being told, oh, you can't take your break till 3, I need you.
Oh, I am the same way.
You know, I did all that. Yeah, I got a job at 16. I've worked a 1,000 things. I did all that, and I finally was like, I don't like this. I want to work for myself. I just didn't know what I would do. So, but when I was doing social media, it was for me, but I was still on this like odd schedule that I just hated. And I just got burnt out seeing progress in someone else and not myself.
Oh, of course, you're working for someone else's like passive income.
Yeah.
And once you get that into your head, I've been at desk jobs before where I'm like losing it at the desk. And they had to like tap on my shoulder, like, what are you doing?
I mean,
I'm like,
here's
"I'm just
an example
overthinking."
is like, I was working on a Facebook page for a creator and they made like 20 grand that month on Facebook. When I hopped in the next month, they hit 80K. And I was like, in 30 days, I helped do this jump.
Right, and like your grandma will say, well, that's not real.
Yeah.
You can't make 80 grand in 3 months.
Exactly.
Right? That's not real money. It's
Yeah.
like there's entrepreneurs in this area, like in Scottsdale, that are making 50 G's a week. And
Yeah.
people are like, that's not real money. That's not real.
Exactly.
Like that's a yearly salary for someone your age.
Exactly. So I started seeing that and I was like, man, I love these creators, but I really want to like take it and do it for me. So I kept working with them until they said to me like, you know, whether it's go stream. And you know what? Everyone I worked for has supported my streaming career.
Yeah.
All of them.
Just awesome.
Violet,
Everybody
Dawes,
along
Steven.
the journey. Yep.
You know, they still do. Like even, I'm trying to get Steven and Dawes to go on Kick and stream. You know, they're YouTubers. And it's just nice to see both of them supporting me and seeing that I'm going for this.
Would you say, and I'm sure the answer is yes, but when it comes to either Kick or even Twitch, is it way more efficient than YouTube for all these content creators who are on YouTube?
I'm not sure. I'm
different
not
for everybody.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know exactly. I personally haven't been on YouTube to see my growth. Yeah, obviously, I only see like from Dawes and Steven. They do really well on YouTube, and they're not live streaming. They're YouTube videos. Whereas like Twitch and Kick is, I mean, it just surpassed every platform in the amount of time that they've been up. They were seeing like an average of like 30,000 people a day signing up, and now it's like tripled or something like that.
Wow.
It's going there.
So do you understand like the how like the analytics work in that sense of how those views just like triple and quadruple compared to other streaming services?
I think that because of the way Kick has presented themselves on supporting creators of all sizes, that's the thing, right? They're not just only looking at someone, I would say, with 1 million followers. It's 50, 500, 200. So they have came on and said, we want to change the game. We want to support everyone. How can we do this? How can we start? And that's when the creators felt more motivated to be like, I can actually do this for a living, even though right now I'm only averaging 30 viewers, 20 viewers. And the thing is like, I tell all these creators that say, oh, I only have 20 people in my streams. Think about 20 people in your house.
It's a lot of
Change the
people,
perspective.
right?
It's a lot of people.
Each one of those people is going to tell someone else, and eventually it'll grow.
It trickles.
It's not an
snowball.
overnight process.
No.
It's not an over-month process.
Took me 2 years.
Yeah.
Although I have been streaming less than a lot of people. Like I know people stream 6 years, 7 years. But at the same time, they can't knock themselves because Kick just came out.
Yeah.
The world is developing and going, and it's changing. So new things come into play. If I would say if Kick didn't launch, I would still be struggling on Twitch, 100%.
But you'd still be loving it, right?
Oh yeah, I would, because in the back of my mind, Kick doesn't exist because you never heard about it. You just keep grinding Twitch, and I might get tired out, you know? You're putting in all this work just to see 50% go away, and then you're never on the front page, you're never featured, like Twitch staff is never in your chat. The thing about Kick is they have their staff coming into your stream and going, I hope you're loving Kick. How are you liking it? You're doing good. And that's crazy.
Yeah.
For them to have a team to go in and go acknowledge streamers on their platform.
Was that always a motivation for you though, or like did that matter being on the cover of this stuff, or was it just for the love of it and then that came with it, obviously?
Yes, it was for the love of it, and then one day I was just on the front page and I was like, what? What? But here's the thing is, like, I tell creators, being on the front page doesn't mean you're just gonna blow up.
Yeah.
You have to provide quality content to keep those viewers. Being on the front page just shows people who you are. So when you go on there, your view count goes up, but you can quickly see if it drops. How are you attaining those viewers? And a lot of streamers right now are kind of getting it mixed up, in my opinion, about, well, I'm never on the front page. I'm never on the front page, so they don't care. And it's like, okay. Well, when they do put you on the front page, how are you going to keep everyone?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's like they say, like it's hard getting to the top of the mountain, but once you're there, it's even harder to stay there. Like day in and day out, you have to continue to do it, and especially in like social media or live streaming or anything like that, you can get burnt out pretty quickly. I've gone through it multiple times where I'm like, I think I'm done, and then someone texts me like, hey, can I get so and so? I'm like, oh, no, I'll keep doing it.
Yeah.
Maybe one more interview, and then all of a sudden I'm back into it. I'm like, no, this is what I was meant to do.
You love it. You just you went so far into it because you loved it so much that it just slowly built up on you. It took me a minute, like I said earlier, is like putting in hours and hours and then realizing, why am I doing 12-hour streams? I need to focus on delivering full 4-hour quality streams,
quality over
to
quantity.
keep people in. And you know, there's an average of viewership when you stream. So when you're done streaming, you get a report that tells you how many viewers you averaged. I'm always looking at that. They tell you don't look at numbers. I would say don't compare your numbers to someone else. That's what I say. Look at your numbers. Compare yourself to yesterday. Compare yourself to last week, to last month. That's just how I do it. Like, I don't look at other people's analytics and go, I wish I was doing that. I go, I'm gonna do this, and in 3 months, I wanna be here. In 3 months, I wanna be here. In 2 years, you know?
Comparison is the thief of joy, especially in that world, because there's so many people doing it. Everybody has a podcast these days. If I compared myself to like Joe Rogan, I probably wouldn't be here sitting with you right now. You know, I would have quit a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm never gonna measure up to that. It's like, you can't look at it that way. You have to focus on your own journey, your own path.
People are forgetting a lot. I mean, I didn't realize how many streamers were out there until I started streaming. You don't realize how many YouTube creators are out there until you start seeing the YouTube side.
Yeah, but like you said, like if you're someone who's genuine and wants to see everybody grow alongside you, that's how you build your community quick. That's how you build engagement quick.
Yeah.
Genuine engagement by wanting to see everybody around you win, as opposed to looking at everybody as competition. You don't. If you look at everybody as competition and you don't befriend anybody, you're, like you said, you're going to be that one guy that's just like, oh, he's just doing his own thing, I guess.
But one thing I've learned with supporting everyone is not everyone is supposed to be close to you.
Yeah.
I am a very like sensitive, emotional person.
How many snakes have you come across?
I think in every category or every industry you're in, there's that. I mean, I've seen people, you know, hunt down certain people in my community because, you know, they're a top gifter in my channel. I've seen people only collab with me because I had collabed with someone else. I've seen people start supporting me when I start making noise. But this is also what I like to say is don't always think just because you're making noise you gotten more support or people didn't notice you. Because how many times have you forgot to reach out to family or friends and then you get invited to a funeral or a wedding? That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
So you do need to be careful. A lot of people aren't in your best interest, but you know when people are genuinely for you and when people are genuinely trying to use you. But
Yeah.
even I did a collab with Fusi. He's crazy. He was like #1 on Kick. Do you know? Yeah. So I did a collab with him, and he made a good point about something. He's all, people use me, it doesn't matter, I just use them back. I'm like, that's a wild, but it's true. Why he's not going to turn down any collabs because it's still beneficial to him, no matter how big he is.
Of course.
Genius, you know? Crazy person.
Oh
And,
yeah, I'm sure.
you know, personality is really out there. And I love that because my personality is out there as well. But at the same time, the point is, it's like, I don't knock collabs. Unless I truly feel like you're not good for my brand or me. Like, there's certain people that I'd be like, oh, I'd be scared to collab with. You know what I mean? So like, there's a streamer, his name's Action Man.
Action Man?
Yeah, he's a nut. He's crazy, but he's got
Like
a
in a
big
bad
personality.
way?
No, not a bad
In an indifferent way?
in an indifferent way. Like, he rages, he throws shit. I mean, it's crazy.
Great content.
Great content for his community. And then when he collabs, he's in a hot tub with the girls and all that. That's someone that I personally probably would not collab with. It's not for my brand. You know what I mean? Would I do like a Fortnite stream with him because he plays Fortnite? 100%.
Yeah. You wouldn't go into that world though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's just how I am. So I think as a creator, it's like, take opportunities, step out of your comfort zone, but also realize what's for you.
Oh my God, I can't even tell you how many because I will talk about anything on the show except politics.
Oh.
And like, I'll get a lot of political people with big platforms. Like, it'd probably do a lot for me if I collabed with these people, just like on a post or something. But I'm like, do I really want to be associated with that?
Yeah.
Because then you don't know who that's going to turn off, you know?
Yeah.
You're not going to be friends with everybody.
Or that ends up being your sole community and your sole audience, and then what?
That's like the one post that blows up and everybody just knows you for that one post.
Yeah,
And you're
exactly.
like, that's not what I wanted. That's not why I worked 10 years to get into this world,
100%.
right?
And that's the same thing in the streaming world. Is just knowing.
Yeah. What is like the #1 thing you have in mind, like project-wise, collaboration? Like, do you have certain goals you want to hit, or are you just kind of enjoying the process of going right now?
Now, since I've gotten signed and Kick has invested, time and money into me, I have decided that with that opportunity, I have reinvested that money into paying people to help me. So like, I have a video editor every month, and now I have I pay my mods, moderators in chat that take over your chat. I'm paying them this month. I'm testing the waters because I wouldn't be where I am as a streamer if I didn't have someone who was doing my clips, if I didn't have someone who was keeping my chat engaged while I'm locked into Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Those things all matters, and I think a lot of streamers need to realize your community is your backbone. And I can't sit there and edit all day. I used to. And I was like, I'm tired of this.
It's mind
I have no time. I need someone who knows what they're doing and knows how to do it. And so I don't spend 2 hours doing something.
Yeah.
So luckily, with the whole opportunity with Kick, I've been able to reinvest it back into myself.
Which is so fulfilling and such a full circle thing, I'm sure.
Yes, and I do know that by doing that, my goals will be hit. So like, I know in 3 months my CCV, I plan for my CCV to be, I average about 200 viewers right now on average. I stream 4, 5, 6 hours, 4 times a week. I know in 3 months I'll be double, triple that. That's my goal. I say I know because that's just how I talk, but.
You gotta believe it to achieve it, right?
Exactly, but you also have to put in the work. You can't just be like, yeah, I'm gonna average 2,000 viewers in 3 months. It's like, what are you doing? And what I'm doing is, I'm reinvesting. I'm upgrading my streams. Like, my camera, it tracks me when I move, and it's
really?
one of the best things that people
It keeps
love.
you accountable almost.
It goes
That's
to my
really
feet
cool.
though.
Wow.
And it's like a big thing where people like laugh. It's like so funny because I'm crazy, I'm dancing, my fog machine's going off, my lights are going off, the music, and then it just drops to my feet, but I drop down with it. Because I don't want it to show my feet. It's like a funny thing now. And I was like, oh, I gotta come out
It
with some
became a
merch,
gimmick
some
for you.
socks.
Yeah. Oh, then you can get sponsors there. That'll be
Exactly.
easy. Everybody believes into like the full-blown storytelling aspect of it too. Where
Exactly.
You got it. I can't even begin to tell you how many people I've met in my life. Still, probably even today, I've had conversations with people who are like, oh, I'm going to go to the gym or something. Then they have like an hour-long FaceTime chat with their mom or something. They're like, it's too late. I'll just do it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, all right, so your actions and your words don't align.
Don't align.
And that's why you're not accomplishing your goals, or you're not crushing your goals anyways. Because I'm sure you've seen so many people like that where it's like, they have potential, but for whatever reason, they have like a mental blockage.
I've seen a lot. I've seen, I've got creators that I've taken under my wing to help. It's hard on me because I'm not where I want to be yet, and my story isn't going to be the same for someone else. Yeah. And I always tell them I'm going to give you advice based off of my personal experience. Doesn't mean it's going to work for you. This is my personal experience of what I've encountered, and I'll give you advice and try to help you as much as possible.
Yeah.
But I can't guarantee anything. But they start working, and then I start seeing the slip. They stop, they stop joining the Discord meetings. They stop, oh, Bears, sorry, I'm not gonna stream this whole week. I just, I'm like, take your mental health break. Like,
if it
take care of
happens
yourself.
once, yeah, cool.
But once I start seeing it already within a month of someone kind of like, they're not motivated or they're already getting burnt out, I'm like, I don't think they have the passion for it. Or they need to really think about what they want to do in this space, because it's not about just turning on the camera and hoping 500 people
It's not
come in.
instant gratification.
No.
It's like, do you truly love doing this? Then you'll do it for free starting out. You'll do it when there's 5 viewers.
Yeah.
Even less.
Yeah, you know what I will say though? I don't think I would be, I don't think I would have gotten this successful on Kick if I didn't work in social media for all those influencers.
Sure.
I think it would have took me a lot longer. So that's why I say when I think my life was already pre-planned, it's like I had to work with this person to get to this person and get to this person, and then utilize it for what I want to do.
But it's like you were still doing something you loved though. With social media,
Yeah,
like you grew to
it was
love
a lot
it.
of fun.
And then once you transferred over, you're like, I already know how to build an audience or at least engage people, right?
Yeah.
Versus like, I've worked sales jobs, or it's like, okay, now I can utilize that experience into sponsorships and kind of negotiating deals for myself. It's like, I know how to do that now.
Yeah. I will say with the sponsorships and the deals, I struggle with counteracting.
Negotiating, or even like setting the quotes sometimes. I'm just like, because some people want to work with you and they're like, how much for a sponsorship? I'm like, sometimes, like, because most starting out, people would just offer me deals with everything already taken care of, and then when you have to set the price, I'm like, how much am I worth?
Exactly, and that's a hard question, because it's like have proven growth, right? I have like my graphs for myself where you just see it. It's never dipped.
Yeah.
It's like on a straight incline right now. And so it's like when these brands come to me, it's like, I'm worth this, but how do I make them believe I'm worth this? Where it's like, I am still growing. So it's one of those things that's hard for me, where I want companies to be like, don't waste her time, just give her an offer. But with me being so like, I would say like nice and like negotiating, I'm like, I get nervous. I'm like, should I even, should I just take it? I don't want to take that, but like, I'm worth this and I want to do this. And it's like, how do you?
That's why you have a team. You find that one person.
Yeah.
That's just cutthroat.
I know, but
she's worth this.
I know.
Take it or leave it.
It's so funny. Did you see Air?
Yeah.
The Nike. It sounds funny, but that was the movie that made me go, huh, But also at the same time, it's like, I'm not Michael Jordan. But what defines me as Michael Jordan in the streaming space?
Yeah.
Obviously, he was worth that. Look at him. But I think one of the biggest things as a creator is, again, you need to be realistic with yourself.
Yeah.
Since Kick came out with the program for paying creators, I've seen creators say, oh, I deserve $50 an hour to stream. And I just want to be like, be realistic with yourself. Do you? Or are you just saying that? Do you want $50 an hour? There's a difference. Are you worth it, and do you want it? Why is, there's a lot of
So you really got to think, like, am I going to be in this for the long haul? Is this going to be worth it on both ends? Because if
Yeah.
it's not, I'm not just cheating myself, I'm cheating them. And that's going to burn a bridge at the end of the day. You're
Yeah.
gonna burn a bridge with a brand that was willing to pay you. Now you're just not living up to that expectation because you were motivated. You weren't disciplined to say, like, I'm worth this.
Correct.
Right. It's
Yeah.
like, I want it because it sounds great.
I want this. This is what I'm gonna work for. Not, like I wouldn't go to, Activision, Call of Duty, and be like, I'm worth 50 million right now. They're gonna look at me and be like, let's be honest. Be realistic with yourself. You could be like, one day I'm gonna be worth 50 million. Right now it's not, but I know I'm worth this. And here's everything to prove it. Here's my analytics. Here's shows that I've been on a steady incline, stuff like that. But like, I tell a lot of creators, just be realistic with yourself. You take yourself seriously, you know your worth. That's what's gonna get you where you wanna go.
Yep. And it's going to take time.
Yeah?
It's going to take
Take
time, ladies and
time.
gentlemen. What is your favorite Call of Duty?
Okay, so this is what is not good. So I've actually only been playing Call of Duty for a year and a half.
Okay.
So like when I actually
At
meet,
least you're honest.
oh, 100%, I couldn't even name all the Call of Duties. I don't know any of that. I'm like, I did Zombies, Black Ops, like not much.
Yep.
So Modern Warfare
That's
2
key.
came out, and that's when I really started just,
Modern Warfare 2 is the best Call of Duty.
what?
In my opinion, because that was the one that came out when I was 9, 10 years old. So that was like the classic
Okay.
Modern Warfare.
See,
that
I
we
don't
played.
know.
Yeah.
And I'm honest about it. I just play what comes out. Like Modern Warfare 3 is about to come out, and I'm like, okay, I'll just grind that.
Modern Warfare 3 was also great. I didn't like the first Modern Warfare though. What was it? World at War. That was the original Nazi zombie one.
Okay.
And then Black Ops came out, obviously, and then Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3 were all great ones.
Yeah.
What other ones? What?
I'm not.
Anthony, you
Can't
play video
ask
games.
me.
You definitely play video games.
What about what?
Call of Duties.
Nah, I play like sports.
You're useless.
BO2
No.
though, obviously. That's Call of Duty.
Yeah, it is. Modern Warfare 2, Rust. Free-for-alls at Rust were my thing in 5th grade.
Really? See, you're asking me that. I don't even know that.
Yeah.
So when I saw on Twitch, I was with Rocket League, and someone's like, you got to get into FPS games. And I was like, what? They're like Call of Duty. I would play COD, and I remember dropping into Verdansk and just freaking out. I couldn't pull my shoot. I couldn't land. I didn't know how to aim. I was just losing it. And I was like, I want to get good. I can't wait till I'm good. I can't wait.
Yeah. Now I'm seeing the reels of like multiple headshots in 5 seconds and
Well, I started doing, figuring out what I want to do in Call of Duty.
yeah.
I love it. People love my reactions. People don't watch me because I'm good. I'm not that good. I'm good at sniping, and that's one of the, like a niche that I've found. So I like to quick scope. It's one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
So sniping, quick scoping, it's way more satisfying to me.
Yeah.
I'll win those fights versus like a gunfight with an SMG or AR. I'll probably lose that fight. But if I'm sniping you, chances are I'd probably win.
Oh yeah.
So
You found your niche.
yeah, so honestly, doing it for only a year and a half, when people ask me, I'm like, I haven't been a Call of Duty grinder. I actually just came across it.
It doesn't matter, you're succeeding at it.
Yeah, I love
You're
it.
making a lot more money on Call of Duty than I ever made, so.
I've also got a lot of support from the people who have been playing Call of Duty for years. They've taught me, they'll teach me things.
Oh
like-
yeah, your community comes out being like, we've played for decades.
Yeah.
Let me show you.
Oh man, that one thing I don't understand is attachments on a gun. I'm like, can I just Google like the best sniper in COD right now? Because I don't know what any of it means.
Yep.
I'm like, why is there so many attachments? How do I know? So I just kind of like hope the community comes out with it first, and then I'll just copy it.
Oh, that's awesome. Like you build your community, you're gaining knowledge in what it is you need to succeed, and they're helping you along the way.
Yeah, it's a lot
That's
of fun.
unique.
I don't know if I would get into any other games. I've been trying. Like I've done like Counter-Strike.
Okay.
I've done like Valorant, Overwatch, and like those games are fun. But I don't want to necessarily like succeed in those categories. Call of Duty, I want to eventually get into tournaments.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. I don't know, but when I watch the big guys, I'm like, I get all nervous and like, oh, I'm not there yet, but I feel like I am. But then I watch, I'm like, oh no, that's a whole different league. But I want to be there one day.
Yep.
I would love to just be flown out and do a tournament. That'd be super cool, especially as like a girl.
Oh my God.
You know?
You'd be the minority.
Yeah.
That'd be very cool.
Then there's a lot of really, really good female Call of Duty streamers. But like, I want to be one of them. So.
Well, I'm happy for you. I hope that happens. Let me know when
Yeah.
that happens. Where can the people find you on social media?
So.
On all social media. Don't cheat anybody.
I know, right? Well, on Kick, it's Wittle Bears. That's where I'm mainly streaming 4 or 5 days a week. On Twitter, it's Wittle Bears, and Twitter's been my most successful platform.
How'd you come up with the name?
So I was like, I ended up dating this guy, and this shows you my age, I guess. And he would say, I would say something. He's like, "Bad news, bears," and I thought he was calling me Bears. I thought like, I was like, oh, he's nicknaming
News
me,
Bears, yeah.
right? And then I find it's from a
Great
movie, and I was like,
Great
huh?
movie.
I was like, oh my god, that's so embarrassing. And I was like, all right. And then I started going. I was like, I don't know what to call myself, and I was like, Bears is cute. I like bears. I was like, but I like talking to myself. I'm like, we got to think of something else, not just bears. And I was like, I ended up with little because I'm small. Okay, and I was like, how do we make it cute? Because how do we make it sound cute? But when people come to my stream, they see this like raging, like,
yeah.
you know, I mean, I'm in there like, fuck you, bitch, and you know, I love it. That's who I am. So I want it to be a surprise. So I changed the L to a W because we only get wins. No L's, no L's,
Nice.
you know. So
Nice.
I was like,
Play on
W's,
words.
yes.
Yeah.
So it I came up with Wittle Bears, and I was like, okay, I like this. And now it's probably been why I've gotten a lot of the offers I've gotten, or why people remember me when I'm in their chat. Wittle Bears, very easy to remember, sounds very like cute, and I've got streamers where I go in there and they're like, these like buff dudes. I want them to say my name on purpose. So they're like, thanks, Wittle Bears, for the follow. It's like one of those funny things. Now
They're like, don't make me say it.
yeah, I've had
Yeah.
people do that where they're like, how do I say this? And they either play with it, and I think choosing a name is one of the biggest things as well. So now people call me Wittle, people call me Bears.
Wow.
It's been fun.
So where can they all find you on social media again?
Oh yeah,
I think that's what we were talking about.
Yeah. So yeah, Kick, it's gonna be Wittle Bears.
Nice.
Twitter, it's Wittle Bears as long as Instagram. And then, yeah, Facebook, YouTube, I'm on the grind. It's still Wittle Bears. It's very Wittle Bears across the platforms of what I'm on.
It's Wittle Bears in real life. She's Brittany Dotson. This was episode 790 of the podcast, guys. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe on our YouTube channel at Jack O'Hara TV. Thanks so much to F3 Energy. This was
Yes.
awesome. We got to talk about this.
We do.